So I would like to directly dive into the short panel discussion, maybe because you need to leave a bit earlier, Jan. So I would directly start with you. I'd like to start with my first question directly to Jan. So as far as I'm informed, you built a tool to assess degrees. How can startups make use of it? And also, this is my question: how can startups make use of it? And does it also help Indian startups that are looking for international staff?
Yeah, thank you so much, Lena. Yes, we did, and I'm very happy that it is already being used. We only came out with it in March, I think, if I remember correctly, this year, and we currently already have some companies using it through our API. To address your question directly, can startups use it? The answer to that is yes. Also, Indian startups can use it. If you just have the occasional degree that you would like to compare, you can very easily do so on case-score.co.uk. That is the English-speaking version of the tool, and it will allow you to compare Indian with German, British, Spanish, Italian, Portuguese, Chinese bachelor degrees, and soon enough some American degrees.
Good to know that. I would like to jump then afterwards directly to the question of Pradeep. Could you please mute yourself, because it's really difficult. I'm really sorry. There's kind of a background noise. I just wanted to... Sorry. Okay, so I just saw your message in the chat, and I wanted to give maybe Jana or Jan. Well, this is maybe a question to Jinsap. So maybe I can give the question directly to Julian, if this is possible. So just take that question, and let's just see that and answer the question in the chat. Would that be possible, Julian?
Exactly. I'll have a look at the question. I see it's quite long, so
Yes.
I'll answer it right in the chat.
That would be good. Thank you very much, Julian. Okay, so yes, just let's continue on that, on the discussion, and maybe some other questions to you. Jan, I interrupted you. Do you want to mention something else again? On the tool, so you said this is an international tool.
Right, that's true. And then I think one other aspect that we could shed some light on is that it's possible to use it for comparing degrees. That's all good and fine, but it's also increasingly possible to find appropriate candidates. So for Germany, we currently have a talent pool with roughly 20,000 people in it, and you can filter them and check by, I don't know, only approach people with an IT background or with an engineering background and with a certain quality of the degree. That's one option. And then we are building that for India at the moment, similar talent pool, similar idea. And for that, actually, we're looking currently for campus ambassadors. So that will be people who will be in a very good, if we're lucky, they will still be at university. And maybe if somebody is interested, that would be something where you can connect with us. The idea behind that is that we want to get sort of a foot on the ground and get better known at some of these Indian colleges and universities. And we have our own campus ambassador program now, and maybe that is something that may be useful for the one or the other of our listeners.
Okay, great. As we have mainly Indian participants now today, maybe you can also give us a hint or some example on what are the main specialization that Indians can bring into the German market, maybe, or can be of interest for the German market.
Yeah, I think I'm not telling any secrets here. The German market is very, very empty with talents from all kinds of technical spheres. So I think very obvious is the whole IT sphere, where we have a lot of people from the German Mittelstand who have thriving companies in all other regards, who are very strong and provide very good working conditions, good working opportunities, but they tend to be located in more rural areas, and they've really, really struggled to find people with the right technical skills that are then also maybe willing to settle in those rural areas. And for some of these companies, the labor market is virtually empty. And I think it's a little bit of a conundrum that you have a huge workforce with lots of young people motivated and talented on the one hand, and then some opportunities that cannot be filled with local graduates over here. And I think over time, we're all working towards closing that gap.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm not really sure if about the sectors participants are now here, so, but of course startups, but the sectors are not that clear. So maybe if there are sector specific questions, or maybe they have some doubts on that side, they can mention it now, or they can ask maybe. Okay. No questions so far. So I would like to raise a question to Jana, and actually I would like to know a bit how, maybe you can just explain again on how do you help business to identify qualified staff and how this really works. So just being on one side, the international part, and now to see how is it really working, and what is just to see the perspective, your perspective on that.
Yeah, sure. I'm happy to share that as well. So there are like two phases, I have to say. So with Mitra, we were really part of operational recruitment teams, meaning that we were on site with the HR persons and helping them screen profiles, and we were also selecting candidates for them, meaning we were interviewing them, doing pre-selections, doing the final selections in coordination with the departments and so on. So that from that, I think we gained a lot of insights. And over time, we try to share the learnings we had from our operational work in a more, I would say, standardized way, because these are challenges that a lot of HR departments have, right? So that's how we started. So we started training people a bit, and one part of that is definitely that it's helpful for companies to set up a hiring process that takes into account these kind of factors right from the beginning. So just like what Case is doing, I think it's helpful to integrate factors like visa eligibility, recognition potential, the level of degree, and so on right from the beginning. So that's something we help with. So for that, we provide consultation if companies are interested in that. Right now with Hello Germany, we've just taken the step away a bit from the consulting model. So now it's really a fully blown online service. So at this stage right now, we are mostly focused on the candidate side. So we can provide good candidates, but our platform is really aimed at candidates who want to work in Germany and all the services they need, which also naturally means that we have employers who can share job ads in our network, and if they have found the right candidates through us, we also help with visa and so on. But we are currently not doing the operational consulting work anymore, because we've figured out in the process that there are a lot of offerings for companies to help with recruitment. You can get an HR consultant on board, you can implement tools like Case and so on. But there's a big gap on the candidate side. Often there's a lack of German information, there's a lack of step-by-step guides, and really a lack of services that makes it easier for the candidates themselves. So we've decided to focus more on that.
And what are maybe you can mention the main points they have to have in mind. So when Indians come to Germany, of course, or they would like to bring their stuff to Germany.
Yeah. You mean the main points that the candidate has to keep in mind when
exactly
so many.
Just the most important ones, and maybe from your experience, the main points that were forgotten maybe in between. So maybe on that side.
So my first suggestion when I work with candidates, we often start at the stage where people start looking for jobs, right? So where they consider looking at the German job market and so on. So for me, the first step would always be to simply start applying and try collecting your paperwork. If you're really serious about moving to Germany, then it helps to get your recognition done at an early stage, to have all the papers in place that you need, and maybe reach out to friends who are living in Germany to get a kind of realistic understanding of what it takes to move here. So that would always be the first step from my point of view. And then once you have a job offer from a German company, it's really helpful to review it with someone who has an understanding of the market. That doesn't have to be a consultant, it can also be a friend. But there are often a lot of misunderstandings in terms of what an employment contract means, what the net salary will be in the end, what kind of other paperwork is needed, what other cost is involved for housing and so on. So for that, I can only recommend people to really do a thorough check before signing a work contract, because it's really binding once you've signed it. And that's, I think, often underestimated. And then once people start the relocation process, step before that, I would always try to figure out if the company can help with relocation. So if it's a more senior position, that's usually the case. And that will save you a lot of hassle. So that's another reason why you should involve someone in the beginning. Because if you have a relocation agent to support you, it's just a smoother transition process. So and I think candidates are often not aware of the fact that they can negotiate this, because it's also tax deductible in most of the cases for the company. So if it's a senior profile, it's in the interest of both sides. So just a few things. There are many more.
This is not enough time.
But we have a YouTube channel for this. So if you're interested, if you're in the process, take a look at the Hello German YouTube channel, because we have a lot of small video snippets where we explain different parts of the process.
Yeah, and I also have a comment at the chat. I really like that. The checklist should include a warm winter jacket. That's true. This is what I'm wearing at the moment, so it's really cold. And this is really, really true. And this is also a difference in between India and Germany, or India and Europe. So just a bit, this is also important. Weather is totally different. Maybe just to have another question again to Jan, I would like to ask you on maybe the biggest barriers and the bridges they have to be built in between German employers and Indian employees. And these, of course, vice versa. What do they have to have in mind, and how should they be from your perspective, Jan?
The biggest barriers between employees and employers. Well, one of the obvious barriers which I've been discussing is in the very beginning, and then there's a lot of different ones that Jana was mostly referring to, which what rang most in my ear was the difference maybe in gross and net salary. I think if that is misunderstood, that could lead to quite a sad awakening, especially with the German difference between gross and net. That can be quite a surprise. I think we have a lot of people with a startup background from India in the call, so maybe I focus on this. So if you want to come to Germany and you would like to hire somebody, to maybe do sales, or in a way, this is also a problem that we are facing at the moment. We are thinking about hiring somebody to do some sales for us in the US, and this is also a foreign market for us compared to what we're used to. This is quite a high paying market. The euro doesn't go as far in the US as it does over here, as the rupee doesn't go as far in Germany as it probably goes in India. So I think there is a step. I think Jana said you shouldn't underestimate what the whole thing costs in the end. I think that's probably true. Here you may want to start with somebody who is already a little bit familiar with what you are actually doing. So maybe refer to one of these 15,000 students with an Indian background that do exist in Germany, especially when they are quite acclimatized and maybe speak German. I think that can be a very good bridge builder potentially. Also, in terms of the regulation, I'm also not a lawyer, I have to confess, but the German regulation, when it comes to what you need in order to get the employment contract right, it's quite tricky. You have to deal with different bodies, with the health insurance, with the pension insurance, etc. And I mean, roughly half of what you are paying a salary as a company is coming out at the other end with with whoever you're employing. If you're paying not so much, then it's a slightly bigger share. But if you're sort of paying an average salary, then this is what you have to bargain with. So you shouldn't be too surprised that if you want the other person to earn 2,000 euros net, in the end, you will have to put in 4,000 euros gross as the company. And that is, of course, expensive. It's expensive for everyone. Maybe that's a good thing. Yeah? So this is not distorting the competition. And probably it makes a lot of sense to do as many things as you can from your home market, and just use this sort of more expensive way for the things that need finishing up, or for the things that then really make sense to do from the other market.
Thank you, Jan. We are about to finish, some 3 minutes to 2. There is one question at the chat to you, Jan, directly. Maybe you can answer it, or just answer it at the chat. So, question on how to find an internship in Germany. So that would be good. Maybe you can answer it directly there. I would, as we are in a global pandemic, I would really like to just jump as last question or comment to that point. What are the main challenges or changes that we had through the pandemic, through Corona, in hiring staff? So this is maybe a question to Jana. Of course, Jan, you can also give your comment on that. But this would be my question, and just a short answer from your side, knowing that this is really a big new topic that we can discuss, and I think we can discuss this in about we can discuss 1 hour about that topic as well. But yes,
maybe
please.
Jana, forgive me if you will, but I have to run at 2 sharp because I have a customer appointment. So I will already say thank you so much, and thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Jan. Thank you very much.
I think I can quickly answer that. So I think if I think of the pandemic from a company perspective, of course, in terms of sales and everything, we all had a kind of negative impact of Corona. I think a lot of companies struggled with that. When I look at hiring, I have to say, I personally think now looking at it on the long run, there were a lot of positive impacts because a lot of the German companies were forced to digitize their hiring processes, and from my perspective, they have become more flexible in terms of location of their employees, where they are hiring from, and so on. So I personally think that it has led to a lot of good things in terms of recruitment. The downside was, and I think we are still struggling with that from time to time, is that visa processes and relocation in general has become even more difficult to manage and also plan in terms of timing because of the pandemic, because everything has become so unpredictable. And it was already very time consuming to manage visa processes before Corona, but now it has become even more difficult. So that would be my personal point of view of just two things to point out. And the other thing is that it had a very negative effect on the candidate side. So a lot of, mainly the international candidates, I work a lot with international students here in Germany. They were really struggling with finding jobs because it's difficult to network if you cannot meet with people personally. So yeah, maybe that answers it. And
this is yes, please. Go ahead.
I saw the question about how to find interns, so I'm also happy to answer that. So I personally work a lot with universities in Germany because I train international students for their career entry in Germany. And if you're looking for interns in Germany, I can say the best thing to do is to look for the universities in the area where you want to recruit. Maybe you have a specific location in Germany. If you're based in Berlin, for instance, you can check out universities in Berlin. If you have a specific background you need, I don't know, if you need engineers with a very specific qualification, you could check which universities in Germany offer study programs in this domain, and then go on their website. Most of them have a job board. It's sometimes very, very difficult to find, but all of the universities in Germany have a job board and a career service center, and they are usually very, very happy to share internship positions. So I can say that personally from my work with career services, they are very open to that. So we also have a list of university job boards on our Hello Germany blog. So could be a starting point for that, for if you're looking for candidates. Yeah.
Maybe you can share the blog if you, so this is just as a first entrance for them. Thank you very much. Are there any other questions or comments you would like to give? If not, from my side, I will just share with you our evaluation that we need to do. This is something that I'm asking all participants to just click on the link and take some 2 minutes just to give us a feedback on the webinar itself. Thank you on that side. I just saw the link from Jana right now. I don't know if there are any other comments, maybe from Julian as well. If you have anything just to add, to comment on that, I would like to give the word to you.
Yeah, sure. Also, thank you very much, Lina, and also to all the 3 speakers and the participants of today. I find it's a very, very important topic in Germany, and particularly the individual, right? So the very individual questions that always come up. And I think that is a great opportunity for participants to also get in contact with the individual speakers to seek their support, because as we had Jana, Jan and Suki do have their own like expert focus in different ways within that space. So I really find this session super helpful, and I'm sure that the participants could also get some insights and support on their questions there. So thank you very much to the speakers, and also to Alina, to you from SAFER, for the organization, and of course also for everyone, or to everyone that has joined today.
Thank you very much, Julian. Thanks a lot also from my side to Jan, Suki, and Jana. Jana is the only one she's staying now with us. Thanks for that. Thank you for the participation to the participants, and I hope it was an important and interesting input from the experts. Yes, and of course, thank you to Julian and to Ginsep on the cooperation.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Take
you.
care, stay healthy. Bye-bye.
Thanks, bye.
Bye.